So this is a Clincheck plan which we receive back from Invisalign when we submit a scan to them. At the initial digital scan, we can do something called an outcome simulator, which gives us an almost immediate before and after scenario. If you as the patient are happy with that and want to proceed, then the next step is the Clincheck here, which is a more accurate version and gives us more details about what the treatment is going to entail. You can see on the left here is what we call the initial setup, and on the right here is what we can expect after treatment is complete. This case is at the milder end of things, but you can still see there a difference between the two. There's a little bit of unevenness here, and that's been straightened out on this one. We can take this back and it will actually show you how the treatment progresses. If I press play, it'll take us through an aligner at a time and show the teeth moving. Now, like I said, that's at the more mild end of the spectrum. So we'll look at another case here, which there's going to be a little bit more to do with this one. Now, other things to note on the Clincheck is these pink marks on the teeth. These are going to be attachments, and that's, as I always describe it, as like climbing wall handles. They're handles for the aligners to grab hold of so that they can move the teeth more accurately. They won't be bright pink, obviously, on the teeth. They're tooth coloured. We've also got some numbers here. This is the amount of IPR that's going to be needed, or interproximal reduction. That's where we skim away a tiny bit of enamel between the teeth. In this instance, it ranges from 0.2 millimeters up to 0.5 millimeters. That's to give us more room to move the teeth into. Now, if I press play on this one here, obviously it's a little bit more of a dramatic difference because it is a more complex case. I can also show you from there. Let's take it back to the beginning. And you can see the teeth gradually, aligner by aligner, moving into the desired position. These numbers at the bottom here indicate the aligners. So we're going from 0 here up to, this is now aligner number 17. So this is the Clincheck, and this is the next stage we would look to go to after the initial scan. And the other thing to note about the Clincheck is that we can alter things within certain parameters. When this case first came back from Invisalign, this space at the front here, which is called an anterior open bite, had been completely closed. So I discussed it with the patient and we agreed to keep some of this space, because if we move these top teeth right down, the patient would have been showing too much tooth, because you have to realize there's no lips or cheeks or face around these models. But I knew the patient and I knew that that would be too much tooth to show. So we adjusted it so that in the end, there is still a little bit of a space there, which doesn't bother the patient because it's always been there for her. But this is going to look correct on her. Completely closing the space and bringing those teeth down wouldn't have looked correct. So that's another advantage of going to the Clincheck before the patient proceeds to full treatment. You can see what you're going to end up with and make sure you're happy with it. So that's the Clincheck from Invisalign.